Hi, good morning. It's Tommy Purcell. We're here for SEO for Realtor websites. Just so everyone knows, the video is not on today. It's just audio and the slide presentation. So let's jump right in. I have just a little bit about myself. I went over last week. I have 22 years experience developing websites for realtors. There's a small sampling of all the agents that I've built websites for in the past. Okay, today we're going to talk about 10 topics that relate to search engine optimization of your website. They include domain name factors, site level factors, page level factors, user interaction, backlinks, SEO impact of social media, what are called XML sitemaps, the Google My Business product, the Google Analytics product, and Google Search Console. And please, if you have any questions, just interrupt me and we'll answer. So what is SEO? So SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. It's the process of maximizing the number of visitors to a particular website by ensuring that that website appears high on the list of results returned by a search engine. SEO focuses on rankings in the organic or non-paid search results. So as part of SEO, here are some standard definitions that are used in the industry. Organic SERP stands for Search Engine Ranking Page. So a SERP is when you type in a query into Google and the page you receive, those are SERPs. And the part that is not paid are called organic. Click-through rate, or CTR, measures the number of people who click on a link against the total number of people who have the opportunity to do so. And that ratio is calculated by taking the number of exposures divided by the number of clicks. Keywords. These are the search terms people are typing into a search engine. Pompano Beach Real Estate, Pompano Beach Realtor, Realtors near me, single family homes in Pompano. On-page SEO. This is what you can control on your own web page so that they rank higher in search. Off-page SEO are factors that influence your ranking that are outside of your website. Then the next 4 items are part of what are called meta tags. And the title tag is what displays in the top bar of the web browser on the search results page. Okay, so it's what appears in the top. It'll say, the K Company Realty, Colorado agents. The heading tag. These are specific HTML formatting elements that are labeled as H1 through H5, and they basically are standardized formats for text on a web page. H1 being the largest, it's usually like 22 point bold, and H2 would then be, say, 20 point bold, H3 would maybe be 18 or 16. They can all be controlled with your own unique customized style, both font name and size. The importance of these tags is that Google looks for those tags on your web pages. So look for keywords in those tags that are going to be matching the query that the person is typing into their search engine. The meta description is a blurb of text that describes what this web page is about. It is also the text that appears in the search engine results beneath the title of the page. Alt text or alternate text is text that is attached to an image file on your website that is not displayed to the normal user, but is there to describe the image. It helps with ADA compliance, and it also, for people that use screen readers because they have vision impairment, it will read that text for that image, giving the user some idea of what this element is on the website. Anchor text. This is the text that appears in the body of an article. Okay, the simplest is click here to view more. And that phrase is underlined and hyperlinked, and that is what's called the anchor text. Okay, so we're going to jump right into the first area of SEO we're going to cover, and these are domain name factors. These are all things that are part of the Google ranking algorithm that impact your ranking and indexing on the Google search results page. That's what all these things are about. There are well over 200 items in this algorithm. We will not be going over all of them, but I will provide you a link to a website that has been tracking what the industry, the SEO industry, believes these factors are. But Google has only confirmed small numbers of things to the industry, saying, yes, this is included in our algorithm. So when you get that list, you know, it is very extensive, but it's not necessarily, I'm sorry, we lost the video. It's not necessarily what Google actually includes.
We're getting there, folks. Just stick with us a moment.
Yes, I think we may need to go get Jonathan because I can't seem to get. Hold on a second. Wait. I got it. Maybe not. Thank you. I'm sorry, folks. Just hang on a second. We're getting tech support.
We got it back.
Yeah, but I have no idea how to get this.
That's usually the best. I have the USB format as well.
I couldn't get the presentation up for some reason.
Oh. That's because you are here. Escape. Start the slideshow again. Now that there's an external monitor, it'll go there. You're good.
Okay, folks, we're back. Thanks for your patience. Okay, so the first item is the age of the domain. Okay, the older domain name that's been under a single registrant, the more weight that domain is given in ranking factors. So if I've owned one domain that's real estate related, say Oakland Park Real Estate, for 15 years, and somebody else just registers Oakland Park Real Estate FL.com, I'm going to get a higher ranking for that part of the algorithm than the person who just bought the domain. The keyword is first or within the domain. Not as strong as factor as it used to be in the beginning of the internet. If I had Oakland Park Real Estate, somebody typed in Oakland Park Real Estate, you can guarantee the ID and result position #1. That's not always the case now. Okay, so then it's more upon content and everything else you do on your website. Registration lengths. Okay, what that means is that typically you register a domain name for a year, but there's nothing that stops you from registering a domain name for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years out in the future. And Google looks at that. They can actually determine, remember, this is a computer. These aren't people that are doing all this work. A computer is able to, within milliseconds, discover when you registered the domain and how long it's registered for. And it gets noted in their in Google's database for your website. Keyword in the subdomain. Okay, for example, my website is tommy.realtor. And if I want to display Oakland Park as a separate web address, I have the option of using oaklandpark.tommy.realtor. Okay, that Oakland Park that's in front of tommy.realtor is what's known as a subdomain. So they can help boost rankings. Domain history. Multiple historical registrants can negatively impact rankings. So there are still domain squatters out there who go out and buy domains and then resell them. So somebody may have bought Oakland Park Real Estate back in 1990, and they sold it to somebody who was an agent. They used it for a few years, but then they decided to get out of real estate and domain that back into the public. Somebody else registered. And that lasted for 5 years. And then it went back. Google sees that history. Okay, so if there's multiple historical registrants, more than 2 or 3 in a 10-year period, that's going to be viewed in a negative way. What are called exact match domains? Low quality sites are penalized. That's the example I just gave. OaklandParkRealEstate.com. So if I register OaklandParkRealEstate.com, if that website only has 3 pages of content, you're not really going to show up on page 1 just because you have that exact match domain. You have to have more beef in your website, more content. Public versus private registration. You can register a domain name and have your name hidden from the public records. There may be reasons to do this in certain industries. I don't see a real reason to do it when you're in real estate. However, it can raise a red flag because Google may think, you know, are they trying to hide the true ownership of this domain? And then the final one here, and for our purposes, is domain extension authority. The domain extension is what appears after the main part of the domain, the .com, .net, .org, .gov, .realtor. .com is obviously the most common. It's what most people think about when they want to register a domain for their business. However, as I explained in my previous class, I highly suggest you use a .realtor domain as it gives an authority strength signal to Google. And only realtors can register a realtor domain. A person in the general public cannot even register it. You have to submit your license number, your state verification. Now, something just happened within the past couple of weeks, and it's not reflected here. There are 2 new domains that are becoming available this fall, .realty and .real estate. Those will not be excluded to realtors only. They will be open to realtors in an early sale, but they will be available to the public as well. What that means is if you're interested in getting any of those domains, you need to do it immediately as they're released, because when it's released to the public, there are going to be domain squatters that are going to go out and buy domain names in the thousands. So if you wanted to, if somebody doesn't register Pompano Beach Real Estate, you're going to be wind up paying a lot more than the $40 than the standard registration. Okay, site level factors. These are factors on your website that you should have or be mindful of when thinking about search engine optimization. You must have a contact us page. Okay, it should be even named contactus.html or contact-us. On that page should be the basic ways to contact you, your photo, your name, the broker address, phone number, fax number, email address, and preferably some kind of contact form. It does not have to be grand. It can be simple as putting in your name, a phone number, an email address, and a big text box for a general comment. That is sufficient. The site architecture. What that means is what the underlying technology on your website. And WordPress is one of the most common blog softwares out there. Its architecture is quite stable, and Google can index it very easily. Static HTML pages, which are pages that are just built as they are, that have references, are also easily broken. If you use multiple platforms throughout your website, there could be a chance that those technologies can conflict with each other, therefore creating slow page load speeds or inability of the Google crawler to crawl those pages of your website. So you have to be mindful of what technology you're using for your website. Sitemaps. And we're going to go over this in a little more detail later. Sitemap is a coded file that's hidden on your website that tells the search engine what pages are in your site, how important they are, when they get updated, and how to do it. Site uptime. If you are using a hosting provider that is not as good as it should be, and your site goes down a lot because their computers go down, Google can see that. They are crawling the internet every second of the day, 24/7, 365. So they know. Your server location. That means that if you are a US-based realtor and you're conducting business in the United States, your hosting company's physical server should reside somewhere in the US, preferably as close as it can be to your physical local work market. My server is located in Texas. Okay, I use a service called SiteGround. They're national, but they have US-based servers. So, security certificate, or SSL. This is a standard of protecting web pages with secure connections. It is now practically been mandated by Google that all pages be an SSL. Almost every hosting provider you'll be using will be giving you the SSL certificate for free. Right? If not, you need to search for a hosting provider that does, and they're all out there. You have to have a terms of service page and a privacy page. Now, in the previous class, I talked about these. There are generators out on the internet. All you need to do is go to Google and type in terms of service generator or privacy page generator. It's standard boilerplate text that you can customize, and it'll spit out the text that you can include on your website. This is one case where duplicate content doesn't matter. So you'll have thousands of people that are using these generators, but this is terms of service privacy stuff that has nothing to do with the meat or the topic of your website. So it's absolutely fine to post these. And they're free. It tells you can do this. Breadcrumb navigation. What breadcrumbs are, when you view a website that has, say, a blog post, and at the top of the article, it's going to have some navigational looking text in a single straight horizontal line. And it's the drill down of where you are on the website. So to the far left, there'll be a text, it'll say home, then there'll be a slash. And say if you're on the news page looking at lifestyle articles, it'll say lifestyle, and then another slash. And if you're in the food section, it'll say food, followed by slash, and you're on the page. And if you click any of those little links, it'll take you back a category or a level in the website. Google likes these. It shows organization. There are additional keywords that can use to rank your site. Duplicate meta tags, the title tag, the description tag. Those are things that should not be duplicated throughout your website. So if I have a page for Denver condominiums and I have a page for Denver single-family homes, the meta tags for those pages should be unique. Okay, don't just take what you wrote for Denver condos and copy it to Denver single-family homes and replace the word condos with single-family homes. Okay, it's going to even catch that. That is duplicate content. Make it unique. Perhaps one of the most important things is your site must be mobile-friendly or responsive. At least 35% of your web traffic will come from a mobile device. And if you're using something like WordPress, excuse me, there are templates that they're automatic. You don't have to do anything. And it's used in full screen on your desktop. When somebody views it on the phone, it collapses everything for a mobile-friendly view. Google likes YouTube. Okay, of course, they own them. So, but people like videos, okay? So Google places a higher factor on videos if you have videos based throughout your site. If you are using videos, make sure you use all the aspects of the YouTube description page to put in keywords, to tag into the right category, add a meaty description that is loaded with keywords that are talking about. Site usability. If you have a site that is not easy to use, believe it or not, Google's computers, they can go to your website as if they were a human and navigate through your site. If they have difficulty getting through the entire tree of web pages, they make note of that in their computer. Okay? So everything should be very simple. You should always be able to get to your home page from any page in the website. Your contact information should always be in the footer at the bottom of every single page. Your phone number should be there. Those kinds of things that make it easy for people to get wherever they need to go. And you should also sign up for Google Analytics and the Google Search Console. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more depth later. User reviews and site reputation. They love testimonials that show people are using your site, that you're a valid professional and earned. And this is why you earned a spot on the Google page that is where you are. And that the content that is on your website provides value and insights. It shouldn't just be fluff, and it should be unique. So every page you have should provide value, content, and insight. Okay, page level factors. These are things that are applied to every page on your website. Okay, so the first thing is keyword in the title tag. So whatever page that's about, you should at least use one or two of the keywords that article is about in the title tag. So if I'm writing about Oakland Park condominiums, it should say Oakland Park condominiums, real estate, my name, Tommy Priscilla Realty. The title tag is best to start with the keyword. So again, Oakland Park real estate, you don't want to have homes in Oakland Park. Okay, you could put that because that's still a good searchable key phrase. But Oakland Park is the real big one. Homes is going to be ubiquitous. People can be searching for home sales. They can be searching for home improvement, and it could, so you want the Oakland Park as the main keyword right up front. And the keyword should also be in that description tag, that 160 character description that is telling you about this page. It should also appear in the first heading tag, an H1 tag. Sometimes I don't use an H1 tag as the leading head. I'll use an H2, but it should appear in the keyword. You should repeat the keyword throughout your post or your page. Okay? They look at content length. If you're going to write an article that's only 100 characters, 150 characters, or 150 words, that's not really meaty. It's not going to get as much weight as if you wrote something that was 500 words or more. Okay? In fact, they usually like 700 to 1,000. Table of content links. So if you have anything that can be summarized in a table of content format or a list, bulleted list, a numerical list, they like that because it shows quick content because people tend to scan web pages and not read so much. So that is given extra weight. Your keyword density, okay? How much the percentage of your keywords should appear as a percentage of the total should be between 0.2 and 2.5%. So that means you're going to count all the words in your article and divide by the number of times your keyword appears in it, and that's where that number comes from. Excuse me, the keywords divided by the total. Reverse that. Latent semantic indexing keywords. It sounds a little confusing. What that means is Google is going to be looking for other words that are related to the topic that people are searching for on the page. So if people are searching for Oakland Park real estate, they may also be looking for things like neighborhoods, homes for sale, anything that's related to the real estate topic. they're going to be looking for those words within your copy. And it's going to happen naturally. In our case, when we write a blog post, we're writing about real estate. So all those words and latent semantic keywords are going to appear in there. Google likes that. And that the page covers the topic in depth. Okay, this is where we're getting to the 700 to 1,000 word count article. Responsiveness A&P, which is advanced mobile pages. This is where you want the responsive web page and the mobile friendly web page. A&P is specific technology that's been spearheaded by Google. It's way too extensive to go into during either of these classes, but you can research it, or if you're going to be working with a designer on a high-end website, you need to make sure that A&P is available to Google. You want to stay away from duplicate and syndicated content. So probably a lot of us get emails from the Florida Board of Realtors, the Colorado boards with articles that we can share. Okay, they usually give us some guidance saying, please only copy the introductory text and link to the full article. Some agents I've seen they ignore that, and they just go and copy and paste the full article and put it on their webpage. And they'll give credit to whatever agency provides that information. But that's more or less useless, because that content has already existed on that Realtor Board website or on RPR or wherever it is. So by copying the full thing over to your page, you're adding zero value. And you can actually be penalized. Okay, if you do it all the time, that's all your website is duplicated content or links to other stuff, you're not getting anything at all. Image optimization. Okay, again, working with images beyond the scope of these classes, but you want to try to keep your image sizes manageable. You can't just upload a picture from even your smartphone is going to be taking it in high resolution. If you export it at the full size, that's going to be way too big of a file size. It's going to slow down page load. So if you only have one image on a page as part of an article, excluding, say, your site logo and maybe another small logo on the sidebar or whatever, that image shouldn't be any larger than 400 kilobytes maximum. That's really even pushing it. You'd like to keep it lower, maybe 280, 300. And if you have multiple images, you need to make sure you're using compression on them, or put them up as thumbnails which are smaller images that click through to a larger gallery. Content updates and frequency. You need to continually update your website. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be daily, but absolutely weekly. I know it sounds daunting because we're all out here to sell. Where do we find the time to do this? We have family commitments and all that kind of stuff. But that's the fact that Google ranking. Keyword prominence. Okay, that goes with the keyword density, repetition, where it appears. You just want to make sure that you are focusing on the specific keyword for that page so that you can rank for that keyword right there. Outbound and inbound link count and quality. Okay. So you may link to websites from the article, Broward County Property Appraiser, anything related to real estate. If you do, those pages should be reputable pages. Even if you can find an article on a blog that you may have a comment on and you're going to reference that blog should be a good blog, not just something random, somebody that doesn't have authority in which they're speaking. It could impact your ranking for that page. Grammar and spelling count. Okay, what I like to do, because even spell check on the computer, it may miss certain semantic, grammar. So what I like to do to check spelling if there's a computer stuff is I look at the screen and I read everything backwards. So meaning you start at the bottom of the article and just read the words backwards, because it makes no sense and your eye will catch the spelling mistake because your brain will correct it when you're reading normally. Okay, it'll just automatically do it. You may miss one character just because your brain corrects it as you're reading. But if you read it backwards, you're just reading words and you're able to catch it instantly. Supplementary content. That means if you're writing a blog post about Oakland Park real estate, you could include, say, a PDF file to a new development layout. You can include a video, or like the next item says, multimedia. All this is supplement content on your website. You could provide a list of condominiums in Oakland Park and a list view. Your reading level, you want to try to keep it more or less at high school graduation level. Google has, they can determine the actual, what they believe is the reading level of the text that you write. And the higher the reading level, in a sense, the lower score you will get, because it's maybe not meant for the general population. It's going to be only targeted to people that fit a certain intellectual demographic, shall we say? Okay. Encoding errors. That's errors that are within your website's code. Google can determine if there's missing closing tags, and a lot of this stuff is unknown to you general real estate agents. But if you're going to be using Playster or iHouse Web, the code is most likely going to be okay. If you start adding your own custom pages, you're going to learn a little bit about formatting HTML elements, and it makes an error there, that they're going to see. Okay. User interaction factors, okay? These user interaction factors include measurements of how visitors interact with your site once they're there. There's something called rank brain, it's Google Artificial Intelligence. I'm not going to go through it because it's extensive. Okay? But if you want to know more, just type that into a Google browser and grab a dictionary. They have a lot of their own terminology, but it's basically they're using artificial intelligence now to help in the ranking factor. Okay? Organic CTR per keyword. So the organic click-through rate per keyword. So what does that mean? Is a user searches for Oakland Park real estate on Google, and you appear in the list of results of that search. Well, then if the user clicks on your website, Google keeps track of that. Okay? They keep track of the user, the link they clicked on, the search term, the time of day, all that. If they leave your website and come back to the search, they keep track of all that. So that's what the organic click-through rate for a specific keyword. And then, of course, they also track organic click-through rate for all keywords. Next two items are called bounce rate and dwell time. What a bounce rate is it's a percentage of the number of people that come to your website, go to one page and leave. They bounce right out. They come from a Google result, maybe it's not what they were looking for, and then they leave. Okay? Dwell time is the opposite. How long has this person been on your website? Direct traffic via Chrome. Chrome is Google's browser, and people that use Chrome and are logged in with Chrome, their traffic is where they go on the internet is recorded by Google. So Google uses Chrome traffic as part of their algorithm. It's not a huge part, okay, because Chrome is not necessarily the predominant browser, so to speak, the way Internet Explorer used to have that kind of. It does have a very strong dominance, but things are a lot more balanced nowadays. Repeat traffic, okay? How many times the same people keep going back to your site? Photo sticking, jumping from one place to the next without any logic. And Chrome bookmarks. So if somebody's using Chrome and they bookmark that, the bookmarks in Chrome are synced across devices, which means all that data is residing on Google servers to sync across the user's devices. So they can use those bookmarks in aggregate over their entire user, population, and say, oh wow, Tommy.Realtor has been bookmarked by 5,000 people in the South Florida area. I wish. Okay, backlinks. These are links that come to your website. Excuse me. Yes, excuse me. Backlinks, links to your website are part of the search engine algorithm of determining ranking. Okay? And the things that Google looks at those links that point to your website appear here. Okay? And that includes the linking domain age. Okay? So if somebody's looking at your website and it's a news organization that's been had a website for 20 years, that's going to give that a high ranking. Okay? The number of linking domains, the number of web pages that link to your site, and then therefore also the actual number of linking pages. Okay? So you can have Sun Sentinel and they have linked to your website 20 times over the past 2 years. So it's going to count the Sun Sentinel as a one root domain, but it's going to have 20. Number 20 is the number of linking pages. The backlink anchor text. So as we said, the anchor text is the wording that the hyperlink is attached to. So that anchor text on that referring site is also counted. And we obviously wanted to use one of our keywords that we're targeting on. The authority of the linking page. Okay? So that means, you know, is this link coming from Reuters? You know, or is it coming from BuzzFeed? Yeah, now BuzzFeed is a very popular site, but it's more sensationalistic kind of article than what you would consider mainstream news. Links from competitors. So if I have a link from my competitor's website to my site, somebody else in real estate, another agent, another broker, okay, that says something. Okay, that's saying that other website is linking to me. I must have authority for something on this keyword or on this page. The diversity of link types, meaning you're getting links from maybe education and government sources are great because those are really highly ranked, but in our industry, it's not really applicable. But the diversity, you're getting links from newspapers, from brokers, from title companies, from home inspectors, home improvement related blogs. That's the diversity of link types. And the contextual links goes with the backlink anchor text. Contextual means the link is what's in copy. It's not just a link on a list of external links to your website, which is what I have for, say, my home service providers. And we'll link with home inspectors and all that kind of stuff. A lot of us do that. And this is when somebody's writing an article about us, and that link appears within the body of their article. The link location in the content of your page. The higher up that referral link is in that article, the more prominence it's going to give you. The keyword is in the title of that referring page link. The link velocity, how fast it propagates, and how fast it gets, shared. Links from hub pages, okay? These are things like Reddit and stuff like that, and these are big hubs where people go and it's a hub of information. They also look at the number of outbound links on that referring page. Okay, so if there's a lot of outbound links on that first page, well, they're going to look at it like my home service provider. Okay, but if there's only a couple outbound links on that, then they're going to give it more weight. And the word count of the linking content, again, they're going to look for big media articles that are referring to your site, not just some 50-character referral. And the quality of the linking content. How does Google actually rank that page and their content that's linking to you? And co-occurrences and keyword proximity, where everything appears, on that page as close together as possible. Okay, so for summary, here are the most important Google ranking factors in 2018 that we've gone over, and these are based on this 200 factor algorithm matrix that I'm going to share with you. Okay? Referring domains, so that means links back to your site count hugely. It's very hard to get that into real estate, okay, because we're all competing with each other. Okay? But if you are, in addition to being a real estate agent, you are very involved in your community, or on a government level, on a charity level, in any way, and you're somebody that's known in your community, you can use that to your advantage by trying to get these links to your pages to improve your referring domain count. The organic click-through rate, again, so it's almost like a catch-22. You want to get ranked on page one, but Google's going to be looking at how many times people are clicking on your link in Google search results. And so you have to be linked first before you get the CTR. The domain authority, again, I can't reiterate how much I believe .realtor is the way to go. Mobile usability, like I said, everybody's 35% of people are going to be coming from mobile. Dwell time, how long people are staying on your site. Right? Backlinks, the number of links that go to your website. Of course, the quality of the content of the website still matters and always will. And then the on-page SEO. All the different things you can do between the image optimization, making sure your code is correct, and writing towards a high school education level. That's all the on-page SEO. Now, social media pages by default don't improve a website's SEO value. Okay? However, there are 6 ways that social media does impact SEO. Okay? Social sharing drives traffic to a website. Okay? So if you're going to share an article or a new home that you have for sale on Facebook, and people click on it, they're going to drive traffic to your website. Social media profiles rank in search engine result pages. So that means if somebody types in Tommy Frisella Realtor into Google search, my Facebook business page will show up in the ranking along with my website. Capturing external links is easier with social media. Okay, so you can a blogger maybe like your business page, and you write a post that he thinks is great, and he picks it up and puts a link to your article from his page that has 25,000 followers, let's say. Social media boosts brand awareness and builds an audience. Okay, this is just general marketing 101. It's a free avenue to market. Local SEO relies on social. Okay, and social media is generally people are interacting and networking. It's all done at a local level. Okay, so this is going to help that. Now, everything we've been talking about here is more or less how Google handles everything, but it's not just Google. There are tons of search engines out there, Bing, for example, which is Microsoft, and they use some of the same kinds of factors in their algorithm. But different search engines are partial to specific social media activity. Right? So Twitter may have more of an impact in Google than it does in Bing. And Facebook may have more of an impact than Instagram. Okay, XML sitemaps. A sitemap is what's called an XML file, okay, that lists all the URLs for a specific website. Okay? It allows webmasters to include additional information about each URL, such as when it was last updated, how often it changes, how important it is in relation to other pages in the site. And this allows the search engines to crawl the site more intelligently. It is a hidden file. It is created, it's generated by WordPress automatically. If you're going to be a Playster, I believe, and iHouse Web, they generate the XML sitemaps automatically as well. So you don't have to do anything. As you add pages to your site, the XML sitemap updates automatically. There are 4 parts to each sitemap entry. Okay? At the top, there's just some basic information that tells the computer what kind of file this is. Okay? And there's a standard for sitemaps, and this is the schema link for that. What you see here between the URL tags is a specific page on the website. And the first item is the full page URL. So it says location, LOC, HTTP, www.example.com. Okay. Then the next item is when the last page is updated. See, it says last mod or last modified. And that's a date. And dates are always put in this way with the year, month, day. How often the page is updated, change frequency, daily, priority, and this is a level, and the system will automatically set the priority. You usually don't want to touch this. And if you're interested in learning more about the priority, you can quickly type XML sitemap priority in a Google search, and it'll tell you right at the top what it means. And all you do is change that value. As you can see, this one is a 0.8 and this one's a 0.3, okay? So one has more priority over the other. The About Us page and the Contact page, they don't really change, okay? But the home page may have new content on it occasionally, so that's going to change more frequently, okay? And there's one of these groupings for every page on the website that just runs all the way down. And it can just reside there on your website in the back, and Google can come pick it up, and we can also actually tell Google where it is. The next item, it is called the knowledge graph. It is not a graph. It is Google's term, okay, for how it's building relationships between people, places, and things, and report facts about these entities, right? This is the knowledge graph right here, this box. You'll see this, I did a search here just with my name, Tommy Frisello Realtor, okay? And it pulled up not only links to my website and everything here, okay, but it also has the knowledge graph, okay? You see this all the time. You're typing in for a hotel, a restaurant, a movie theater, okay? And the knowledge graph will look different for different industries. Okay? If you type for movie time, I went into Google search and typed in movie times, I'm going to get a moving bar here with pictures of each movie and the movie times in my local theaters. Okay, that's the knowledge graph for movie time. Okay? And it allows Google to move toward a new way of searching, not for pages, but for entities or concepts that these words describe. Every single real estate agent should create or claim, if it's already there, but just not claim, they should claim their knowledge graph. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that. It is done through Google. It's called Google My Business, but the URL is google.com/business. Okay, you have to have a Google account, obviously. Okay, to register, you should have a single Google account for all your Google products as a realtor. Okay, so let's be for My Business, for analytics, for the Search Console, anything that you have with Google that you're using as a real estate agent should be a single email address login. And if you're using Google products as a personal user, in other words, you have a YouTube page where you've uploaded family videos and things like that, you really, and that's the same login you use for your other Google products like Gmail, you may want to create another one because they're all linked together. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So you go to Google My Business and it's a form. It's simple. Okay, you're going to click on and complete the information for office hours. There's an area to put posts and blog posts. You can actually write articles within the Google My Business. They don't have to be links on your page. You'll have a business description. Okay, they have bookings and messaging features. Okay? There's a question and answer section here. Okay, but you cannot ask the question as the agent. Okay, so these are user questions. Okay, can you create a fake profile and throw your own? Absolutely. Okay, so there's ways to quote unquote game the system, but you don't want to do that in mass. You have friends and family doing stuff. They have that throw in quote unquote fluff feedback or questions just to get things started. Okay. And then there's a place for reviews. It will pull in reviews it finds on Facebook and other places. Okay. There's a place to upload photos and videos, and you can designate the kind of services that you offer. Okay. Google Analytics. This provides real-time and historical traffic analysis to your website. It's a free product. It will show you where your audience is coming from, their demographics, their interests, geolocation data, in other words, that are coming from the US, Italy, Brazil, okay. The behavior that they take when they're on the site, the technology that they use, in other words, are they coming from a computer, they're coming from a phone, is it an iPhone, is it an Android, a Windows computer, a Mac, and the percentage of mobile traffic you get overall. It talks about acquisition. How do the visitors come to your site? Is it organic? Is it paid? Is it social? Maybe from Facebook or other place. Behavior, site content, visitor behavior, site search and events. Conversion, the tracking of specific visitor behaviors and clicks. What conversions are in analytics, as you can tell analytics, the most simplest one is how many times somebody filled in a form on my website. So you're going to tell Google that Tommy.realtor/contact us is the form page. And then I would tell Google Analytics that Tommy.realtor/thank you is the page those users get after they completed the form. Okay, that page is generally only available after, it's not part of the navigation structure. The thank you page is not part of the navigation structure of your website. You can't just navigate to that page. So that is a unique landing page when somebody clicks on and completes the contact page. And then Google can track that. Right? A lot of people with businesses use it for, for product links and all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be very advanced. Right? We can use it as well to track the number of people specifically that say go to the Oakland Park webpage and then Oakland Park condos, and then they click through to the listings of Oakland Park condos, and I can actually track, say, my specific listings within that search result through conversion. You can see a demo of how analytics works at the link at the bottom of the page. I do not believe you need an actual account to see that. Okay? When you sign into Google Analytics, you're going to be presented with the dashboard. Okay? And the dashboard is going to give you some basic information regarding the service. And it's going to show up here the number of users, okay, for a specific period of time. Okay? What we're looking at here is actual active users. Okay? Right here. See, it says 10 active users right now. So when I printed this out, there were 10 people on my website. You think, oh, 10? I'm just a little realtor in Oakland Park. I'm not, that's pretty good. It'll also give me some information here telling me that realestate.tommy.realtor, and that's the subdomain, is performing better than the other referral traffic. That domain, that subdomain, is the link that IBM's broker gives me for all the listings that appear in the MLS. Okay, so that's what, if you go to realestate.tommy.realtor, that's where all the listings are that the IBX controls. Now here, it's giving me a quick breakdown of where my users came from. And I pay for advertising with Google AdWords. That's the biggest block here. Okay? Then there's a second block on top of it. That's organic search. Then on top of that is what's called direct traffic. Direct traffic is when somebody types your domain into the web browser and goes right there. It's not a referral from anything. It's direct. And then at the top of this, we have referral traffic. Facebook, Google, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere else that's not your website. This actually shows me the user breakdown by time of day. Right? And we can see, as we could expect, that not a lot of people are searching for real estate between 12 in the morning and 6 in the morning. And that's a lot for a lot of websites. People are in bed. Okay? But you can see there's a big block here around 9 o'clock where it's really dark. And people are getting to work, and then they're starting work, but they're finishing some personal stuff. Right. And then it evens out for an hour or two, and then lunchtime hits. Okay. And this whole dashboard can be customized as well. You can put different modules with different information on it. So when you open it up, you can see it. This shows my location information, and that's what I want to see because I more or less block every single country from my website for privacy and security reasons. Okay. Also on the dashboard, it says what pages do your users visit. As you can see, Wealth Managed Real Estate is top on the list here. And this shows users trending over time. So So you can see we have May, and we're here in June. Okay, it shows me monthly, weekly, and daily active users in a graph. Here's the big one. That's what I would say. Sessions by device. Look at that mobile count.
Wow. Yeah.
So if your website is not mobile friendly, okay, people get to it, they can't navigate it, they're never going to come back. So it must be mobile friendly. And you'll see they also track tablets here as well. And Google does this by detecting the screen size when the page is viewed. You detect the screen size. Now my website displays the same on the desktop as it does, same on the tablet as it does on the desktop. Because I set my website to do that. Because my website functions well on a tablet screen. It is viewed this nearly identically. Okay? But if I wanted to, I could have the tablet treated as a mobile device. This is retention. Okay? Obviously, this is week 0. This is their first visit. This is the number of visits over time that the same people have come back to my site. Right. Obviously, the darker, the better.
Right.
This is where I can track conversion. I have no real conversions on my site. Okay, all I have is the form. And people actually don't use it. They wind up calling me. Or when they start looking at listings, after the 5th view, they're forced to register. That registration happens through the IDX broker system. And I track those separately outside of analytics. Okay, so that's just the way I do it. Okay, the Google Search Console, this is where you upload your XML sitemap. Okay, it's a very basic service. There's not much to it. You basically go to Google Search Console, log in. It's going to ask you for your website address, and then it's going to ask you for where the XML sitemap is. Generally, it's right off the roof. So all you have to do is once you took your domain name, you're going to type in sitemap.xml. That's it. And you hit OK, and Google then will process that file. And there are things here where you can look at index coverage and a lot of information, but for the most part, most of the users here in our company just need to get the XML site tagged into Google system. Okay? If something goes wrong down the road, okay, and you get emails from Google saying you're being penalized for something, then yeah, you can come back here and there's going to be some reports here that'll help you out. And the reason why we want to use Search Console is it helps monitor your site's performance in Google search results. Okay? It ensures that Google can access your content. Okay? You can submit new content for crawling, remove content you don't want shown in search results. There's ways to add a specific page only, or remove a specific page. You want the page on your website still, but you really don't want people, you don't want it showing up on search results and then people calling about it. You know, so you can have it removed from the index. You can create and monitor content that delivers visually engaging search results. Okay? And you can maintain your site with minimal disruption to search performance. It allows you to monitor and resolve malware or spam issues so your site stays clean. Okay? If you're using Playster and iHouseWeb or one of these all-in-one providers, you really don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. They have malware and spam, you know, software running on their server, making sure that nobody's blocking your server, injecting your file with bad code. But Google Search Console can alert you if somebody has infiltrated your website. And everything may look fine, your pages still look okay, but they've actually inserted some malicious code on every single one of those web pages that's mining Bitcoin or something in the background. This will tell you that. It also tells you which search queries cause your site to appear in search results. It'll be a little different than what you see in analytics, because analytics will show that as well. Okay, so there's always a discrepancy between the two. Okay? And it helps you see did some queries result in more traffic to my site. Okay? Are my products, prices, contact info, or event highlighted in which search results? Okay? Which sites are linking to my site? There's a backlink section that will tell me where these pages come from. And is your mobile site performing well for visitors? Now, that's pretty much all I have about SEO. There's a lot more that you can learn. These resources are excellent resources for how to have a website, period, today, regardless, not just specific to real estate, but all the information and articles on these websites. These are national industry standard sites that every SEO professional uses. I mean, SEO Moz, which is moz.com, search engine land, searchengineland.com. There's a Google keyword planner out there, and there's another keyword tool out there. You can just search for Google keyword tool and Google. The keyword planner is part of the Google AdWords product, so you will have to have at least you'd have to create an account with Google AdWords at least to get to the planner. But you don't have to pay for it. You know, it's just an account. And then the other one is called thepath.com. Okay. Finally, I mentioned that the ranking factors we went over are part of an enormous list of 200 plus factors. This site has been tracking those factors for years. So it gets updated constantly as Google changes and as the SEO industry feels that there's a new factor that comes into play. This page gets updated. So keep this bookmarked in your web browser, and it'll give you a lot. It's a long article, but it's short little snippets labeled 1 through 200, and you can just read each one. Thank you very much for attending today's class.
You were fabulous. Wow.
I have to figure out how to turn this off.
Good job.
We're not on video. Just use it. No.
Oh.
You can shut off the video.